So let's talk a little bit about the seller's perspective. So one of the reasons why credits don't sell for more than 60 days is 90% of the time, I'll say 80% of the time, it's price. 20% of the time, it's they don't want to pay for insurance. And then, okay, maybe there's 1%, like there's something wrong, or, these are the big issues that affect it. Is there's a new pricing reality for sellers. A number of players have left the market who were active buyers in 2024 and buying 23 credits. Is the reason is political reality. There's been changes to the thing with OB3. And so again, there's just kind of a little bit of trepidation and risk reassessment. Doesn't make the credits more risky, but again, people are worried that 2, 3, 4 years from now, the IRS might come back and get upset about some of these credits, or question very closely some of your construction requirements, or et cetera. So again, the prices have dropped, call it 3 to 4 cents post one big beautiful bill. Insurance surprises, this should not be a surprise. Buyers want it, just pay for it. But sellers sometimes don't budget for that, or they think it's something they can add as a premium, or they think that they can guarantee it, even though their corporate status is not really investment grade. Bad documentation. You go in to sell it, you get the seller in there, they look in the deal room, and there's just not all the docs are there, not everything's there. One of the ways that documentation isn't in place is if the seller has hired like 15 brokers and they don't want to give all the brokers all the access to the information that they need. Somebody says, I've got a buyer. They don't want to necessarily send out all the docs. And so again, this is sort of weird waiting game, and that ends up killing deals and makes them very slow. And then waiting. So there are a number of buyers sellers who want to wait some extended duration for the credit to kind of get a better offer. Like, let me get a better offer. And they'll just keep doing that. And that just costs money and time, and you lose buyers for, they kind of walk away, or they feel like they can't get the credit done, so they buy another credit. So again, this is a lot of the time, it's somewhat seller behavior. I hate to say it. So there is a cost to waiting. And I think it's incumbent upon the broker to kind of understand with the sellers how to navigate this. Okay. And so one of the issues is that the credit is in effect a depreciable asset. And it's very much like a harvest of grain. It only has a certain lifespan. And because people have been working on these projects for years, they feel like they maybe have time. The truth is there's a time cost of money. It's about a cent per quarter once the credit is ready to sell and can be sold. Say it's registered. Any time after that you're trying to solicit more offers, or you're really trying to boost the value, or find more buyers, or et cetera, or get the buyers into a bidding war, whatever. Just remember, that's 1 cent every 3 months. So, if it takes you 6 months to sell the credit, you've lost a couple cents on it. You probably would not have gotten that much price improvement anyway. So and this is at a risk-free return. If your return rate is higher than that, if your IRR is higher than that, this can be very costly to wait. So try to find the market price. Do as much price discovery as you need to. Try to market close to the market price, and then think about the buyer as can they buy the credit? Will they buy it right now? Are they quick to buy? Or are they going to be buying it slowly? Like banks are kind of notoriously slow buyers. Insurance companies are notoriously slow buyers. So again, what's the cost of waiting? This is what buyers really care about as a seller. So you need to understand this. Investment grade or insurance. The IRS is registered. The documentation is complete. People don't want to chase down these documents. A lot of times buyers have a tax team or a CPA that they're paying by the hour, or attorneys that they're paying by the hour. And don't make them chase the docs. Have a closing package, have a credit package that is as complete as you can possibly make it. I cannot emphasize enough how many calls I've gotten on, and they're like, "Oh, it's great," and they don't have, it's a big solar field, They don't have the land listed. They don't have any diagrams. They don't have any engineering reports. They don't even have the equipment. Like, again, the buyer's going to require those. Why did we have a call? You don't have your docs in a folder. Whether it's Dropbox or Box or whatever, just again, make sure that it's a complete package and they can see that it's complete and verifiable before they purchase and kind of get into the engagement, okay? Chain of title, you need to own it, and it needs to be clearly obvious that the seller owns it and has the right to sell it. If there's an issue with the chain of title and someone else owns it, the buyer is ultimately responsible and is at 100% loss scenario. So that needs to be clean and verifiable. And then some realistic expectations with filing dates. I've seen credits that go into, call it late July, early August. Mid-September is the first filing date for extensions. And they're going into this, mid-August, and their last deal broke. And now they're looking for a buyer. And it's like, you have 30 days to close this deal. And, you're expecting top dollar. Like, that's just not realistic. Again, somebody has to file in a month or two. Don't wait that long. Try to get out in front of these if you can.